Oh, the acoustics in here. Hi, I'm Dr. Francis. I'm a world-renowned wildlife nutritionist. You may not have heard of me, but your mating tortoises sure have. And today I will be answering some FAQs from you. Google them, they actually do that. So we asked far and wide for your questions on feeding dogs and cats and just any questions that you might have about anything related to feeding. So in front of me now, I have the final results. I mean, there was a lot of questions, so our team had to condense and do mathematics and then give me the most popular questions. And I hope that some of your questions get answered. If not, don't be shy. You can always continue to comment below and on our social media, Instagram and TikTok, to hopefully you'll be in the next video. So question number one, how can I tell if my dog's portion is appropriate? Great question. You already have a dog, you're already feeding it something, and you want to know, is this the right amount? Well, I recommend that you just pet your dog, and then especially over the ribs, and you want to feel, you really want to know how much can you feel their ribs. So this is an old test, but it really holds up quite well. So if their ribs feel like you, when you go over your knuckle, it means your dog is probably a bit too slim, and maybe you want to increase the portion or increase the density of the diet, or you want to add in a bit more functional treats or snacks, or basically just give more energy. If when you feel their ribs, it's like that, then that is perfect. What you're doing is amazing. Don't change anything. You are beautiful. You are perfect. You are a goddess or a god, but that feels weird, goddess. If it feels like this, oh, a little boop, 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 then maybe your dog is, I don't want to say fat. I don't want to say obese. Maybe overweight, maybe a little bit overweight. I know chubby dogs are so cute. They're so cute. You just want to like, but we know that slim dogs live longer and have a lot less health issues throughout their life. So if it feels like that, if you can't feel the ribs, or if you got to press in to feel the ribs, then you should probably cut down their food portion a little bit. Hope that helps. Question 2. How many treats are too many for my pet? Well, that's another good question. So obviously treats should be a small portion of the overall diet. So vets recommend 10% of the overall calories should come from treats, things that are not completely balanced. Because if you keep feeding treats that are not completely balanced, it'll undo all of the hard work that your pet's complete and balanced diet. Well, guess what? It's no longer complete and balanced anymore. So 10% is kind of the average there. So you got to do a little bit of calculation on energy. So how much energy does your dog need, or how much are you giving in terms of the meal? What's 10% of that? And that's how many snacks you're able to give. If you give a lot less of like these store-bought snacks, like these starchy cookies and crackers and whatever, which actually is not great for your pet. If you give single ingredient or meat-based treats, then that will actually go a lot further. And also a little tip, make sure that your pet works for their treats. Don't just give them treats because they're cute. Like they were born that way, they don't deserve it. Do some training, do some, even related to activity, get them to do something just to earn that treat, as opposed to just, here are the calories, please love me, please love me. That's not the best, yeah. Question 3, how can diet impact my pet's overall health and longevity? Well, the answer is a lot. Diet is not everything, but without diet, there's nothing. Diet is the lowest hanging fruit, no pun intended, the most obvious thing that you can do and the easiest thing that you have the most control over to enhance your pet's well-being, health, and of course, long-term longevity. We know that depending on the diet that you give them, you're directly impacting the chances of getting cancer. 8 out of 10 diseases that you go into the vet can be prevented with diet. So it's pretty significant. And there's a reason why I keep talking about the same points over and over, is because I want those points to be absorbed in your head because it makes such a big impact, not just for your pet's health and longevity, but also at the bottom line for your wallet. Buying a slightly more expensive fresh diet or lower in carb diet, blah, 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 could have huge repercussions in your pet's life for their health, but also for your vet bills, because they may get sick less. So things for you to consider. Nutrition should be your number one priority. Number one. Look at that. What's that? Number one. Question 4. Should I feed my pet on a schedule or free feeding? Awesome question. It should 100% be on schedule. You should have your feeding times, your feeding windows that are set. And if your pet doesn't eat during that time, then you throw that food away. You throw it into the garbage and it's gone forever and your pet has to wait till the next meal. Sorry, babe. You messed it up, you gotta wait. It's tough love. I've explained this in the picky pet video as well. Feel free to have a look, where I explain it more into detail. Free feeding is just not natural. It doesn't lead to good behavior. It leads to picky dogs. It leads to a lot of issues as well. And food that's just going there is losing nutritional value because it's just there in warm temperature and in oxygen. So it's not something that you want either. Schedule all the way for dogs and for cats, especially for cats. And if you say, oh, but my pet's picky, then even more reason for you to do this. Schedule, no excuse. Do it and you'll thank me later. Next question. Oh, is Dr. Francis single? Is that real? Okay. The answer is no. So whoever asked this, sorry. Not sorry. Next question. What are the signs of a food allergy in pets? Oh, I could talk about this for a long time. We do have a video on allergies as well. Please do take a look if you're worried about it. Most allergies in pets are not allergies. They are sensitivities or intolerances, because if your dog truly has an allergy, or your cat, and they eat something that they're allergic to, it's like humans with peanut allergies. You can die. Your throat closes up, you swell up, you have rashes all over instantly. Like, it's dangerous. So the majority of times for dogs and cats, it's either an intolerance, which is basically in the gut, or a sensitivity, which is a little bit more immune-based, but nowhere as crazy as an allergy. And the good news is that these can be mediated. There is hope that you can get your pet through it. But if you feed one ingredient all the time, and your pet always has diarrhea with that one ingredient, diarrhea or mucus in the stool all the time. Sometimes mucus in the stool can happen the first time you give something new. Doesn't mean it's always. Vomiting is usually not associated with intolerances because most of this intolerance happens in the gut, not in the stomach. Most of the time, it's about gut health. If you give a really good probiotic, if you really care about your pet's gut health over maybe 2 to 3 months, feed it kefir, feed it probiotics, feed it soluble fibers, you should see an improvement. And also, the less processed, the better. So I have a lot of cases that, of course, the owner says, my dog's allergic to chicken. And then we gave them a raw chicken diet, fully balanced, safe raw chicken diet, and then they had no allergy symptoms at all. So sometimes it really depends on the mechanic of what you're feeding, not just, oh, it's chicken. But make sure, don't do those allergy tests or 70% efficient max. Most of them are garbage. Do them, but then don't live your life according to them. If you get your allergy report, then use those things that your dog is allergic to, but then test it. So if it says allergic to pork, then guess what you do? You take a little piece of pork, and then you make your dog eat that pork, and then you see what happens. Because if you feed it and then your dog is fine, then guess what? They're not allergic. So the whole point of that is to see what your dog could potentially have an issue with. Then you test it out, and then you cross them off, or if then you do see a reaction, then you know, okay, this one you circle it, this one I will avoid. And that way you can look at all ingredient labels in the future and avoid that one ingredient. But most of these allergy tests, rubbish. Oh my God. And even the best ones are only 70% effective. So it's not it. Just do the test yourself, give food, single ingredient. You can do it, I believe in you.